Slavery by Another Name. The Re-Enslavement of Black Americans from the Civil War to World War II is a book by American writer Douglas A. Blackmon, published by Anchor Books in 2008. It explores the forced labor of imprisoned black men and women, through the convict lease system used by states, local governments, white farmers, and corporations after the American Civil War. Until World War II in the southern United States. Blackmon argues that slavery in the United States did not end with the Civil War, but instead persisted well into the 20th century. It depicts the subjugation of convict leasing, sharecropping and peonage, and tells the fate of the former, but not of the latter too. Slavery by Another Name began as an article which Blackmon wrote for the Wall Street Journal detailing the use of black forced labor by U.S. Steel Corporation. Seeing the popular response to the article, he began conducting research for a more comprehensive exploration of the topic. The resulting book was well received by critics, and became a New York Times bestseller. In 2009, it was awarded the Pulitzer Prize for General Nonfiction. In 2012, it was adapted as a documentary film for PBS, also titled Slavery by Another Name. Background: Douglas Blackmon is a Wall Street Journal reporter. He grew up in Washington County, Mississippi, where as a 7th grader he was encouraged by his teacher and his mother to research a local racist incident, despite the opposition of some citizens. The experience began a lifelong interest in the history of American race relations. In 2003, Blackmon wrote a story on the use of black convict labor in the coal mines of U.S. Steel. The story generated a large response, and was later anthologized in Best Business Stories. Blackmon began to research the subject more widely, visiting various southern county courthouses to obtain records on arrest, conviction, and sentences. He later stated, "As I began to research, even I, as someone who had been paying attention to some of these sorts of things for a long time, and was open to alternative explanations, even I was fairly astonished when I put it together, basically by going county by county, and finding the criminal arrest records and the jail records in county after county after county from this period of time, and seeing that, if there had been crime waves, there had to have been records of crimes and people being arrested for crimes. And in reality, it's just not there. There's no evidence that that ever happened. In fact, it's the opposite. The crime waves that occurred by and large were the aftermath of the war and whites coming back from fighting in the Civil War, and settling scores with people and all sorts of renegade activity that didn't involve black people at all, but they were blamed for it, and that was then used as a kind of ruse for why these incredibly brutal new legal measures then began to be put in place. The resulting book, Slavery by Another Name, was published by Anchor Books in 2008.